Hello, everyone. Messenger Christopher, Spirit World X. It is once again a pleasure to have an opportunity to reach out to all of you. I am, of course, for all of you individuals who don't know who I am the chosen one that would be the last Messiah, the long ago prophesied to come melanated Messiah. And again, it is a pleasure to have an opportunity to reach out to all of you. I am here on the most heavily censored social media app. Of course, well, we know all the other social media apps are also being censored at this time to some degree, but YouTube is certainly the most valuable tool for censorship at the moment because of the fact that I am here now since 2021. And pardon the noise in the background, by the way. What you're hearing is a lawn cutter cutting weeds in the background. So please forgive the nuisance noise in the background. However, since 2021, I have been on this social media app, YouTube, and of course, sounding the alarm for the beginning processes of the long ago prophesied to come redemption process of the Jewish race. Now, I'm not talking about European Jews. I'm talking about authentic Jews, melanated men and women from America to Africa, all across the world. This redemption has everything to do with realignment of your field of consciousness and your electromagnetic manifest attraction capacity by that field of conscious awareness, which is an interdimensional field of conscious awareness, back to alignment with our authentic Trinity, not the Trinity that you're hearing about on the Matrix movie or the Trinity that you learn about in Christianity. I'm talking about the authentic Trinity, which is comprised of our mind, being the middle division of the Trinity, creation being the lowest division of our Trinity, and what we have been taught by the psychosocial order that maintains our present survival to call outer space, being the highest division of our three-divisional authentic Trinity. Back to our Trinity's electromagnetic radio frequency spectrum, and of course, our redemption requires that we, having the knowledge of who we are and where we are and how we should exist on this so-called planet, in this Matrix program, our Trinity's lowest division, interdimensional division, where through the three-dimensional construct we get to experience our own creative capacity. And of course, how we should exist here by electromagnetism and by that power, and not the power of money. You see, money, of course, has no value. And if it did have value, then it would, of course, grow on trees by the cyclical production of, or by the cyclical processes of the earth rotating around the sun, if you will. Okay, as we've learned, it does within this psychosocial order. It would grow on trees no differently than fruits and vegetables that provide all life forms on this so-called planet, in this Matrix program, with the capacity to go from day to day, replicating as they do through sexual reproduction, and having no need for a centralized banking system to have that ability. Okay, so this is what our redemption process is all about in so many words. And of course, having the valuable storehouse of knowledge that I have been given, and of course, the immutable instruction that I am guided by every day, it is very easy to understand how it is redemption and alignment with our natural order of conscious conversion. In other words, reincarnation process is very, very necessary and very needed. Okay? Now, of course, you're going to receive all of this knowledge that is very necessary very soon. And of course, you've already received a lot of it. However, we are presently dealing with individuals who work for the big corporations who are presently attempting to, who, while of course outsourcing all of the jobs that you have had and in America and opportunities to sustain your survival. And I want to talk about how it is your survival, by the way, is also and your field of conscious awareness in respect to your identity and your survival narrative runs directly in alignment with the same field of conscious awareness that is intent on destroying this matrix program, and of course presently using individuals throughout social media and of course the media in general throughout the world to hijack this redemption process. And of course how they're doing that is these individuals, how they're doing that, these individuals, in an attempt to redact all that I am saying on the Worldwide Paradigm Shift show, of course, here on channel Christopher Spirit World X, is these individuals are the corporate hive mind. These individuals do not have a natural level of conscious awareness, nor do they have a natural level and field of conscious contribution capacity in this matrix program to sustain it. Where did these individuals, the corporate hive minds, unnatural field of conscious awareness come from? It was birthed out of the electromagnetically misaligned reincarnating conscious function of so-called black people and of course Africans, and at that time we were called Egyptians and newly named Egyptians, who decided we didn't want to be identified as Jews. And of course, as a result of the negative energy capacitation within our field of conscious awareness, within the frequency of electromagnetic potential that our field of conscious awareness existed by at that time, we activated out of our gene structure the fail-safe protocol, electrochemical automated, three-dimensional in conscious awareness, non-electromagnetic Gentile conscious spectrum as a tool, a replicating through sexual reproduction tool for rebalancing. And of course, rebalancing what? Rebalancing and realigning our frequency back to our authentic trinity's electromagnetic radio frequency spectrum. Now, these guys, it sounds like they're getting a little louder here they're just getting a little closer to me. But again, I hope that you can hear me clearly, and I ask that you just overlook the noise in the background. Well, to move on, this is where the genesis of the Gentile conscious spectrum, of course, came from. This field of conscious awareness, this three-dimensional field of conscious awareness that the Gentile conscious spectrum has, is by design, and of course the architect of that great design is none other than you and I, brothers and sisters. The middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious collective existing behind melanated flesh. Okay? The high vibrational aspect of our field of consciousness existing behind melanated men, the low vibrational aspect of our field of conscious awareness, which is 9-dimensional, not 3-dimensional, existing behind black women's flesh. Melanated women, of course, having the low vibrational aspect of our electromagnetic manifest potential, melanated men carrying the high vibrational aspect of our electromagnetic potential. Now, of course, if you remember the movie Queen of the Damned, go look at the movie Queen of the Damned, and what you will see is a melanated woman, who her name is Aaliyah, and you will see a European man, okay, a Jew and a Gentile. There are only two prevailing fields of consciousness presently in this matrix program, existing in human flesh, having 5 sensory depth perception, 5 sensory organs to experience the 3-dimensional field and advance the 3-dimensional field with their thought process or destroy it. And of course, the field of conscious awareness that the Gentile have, of course, is an external, or should I say, the mind and body, the physiology of the Gentile, is an external electrochemical automated low vibrational yin conscious reflection of our middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious electromagnetically misaligned Yang conscious collective. The high vibrational aspect of our field of conscious awareness connects to the inverted in conscious awareness yin conscious low vibrational or yin conscious high vibrational aspect, which connects to European women, and the low vibrational aspect of our field of consciousness, which reincarnates, is connected by electromagnetic potential to the non-electromagnetic conscious field of the Gentile men. Okay, their field aspect of conscious awareness and non-electromagnetic potential. So when you consider the movie Queen of the Damned, consider your psychosocial structure at this moment. Consider the great inequality that is maintained and, of course, overlooked by many of you individuals who cry for justice, whether you are white or black, J or G, Jew or Gentile. but you don't have the capacity to realize the amount of inequality and dysfunction that is being maintained by not only you, but the Gentile spectrum as well, who also cries for fairness and talks a good game about, how it is. They are very moral and very, very apt to protect the citizenry from abuse. And meanwhile, at the same time, all of you are presently literally of the mind of not only abusing yourselves and each other, but the entire planet. All of the conscious contributions that should be sustaining your existence. And this is why we are the damned. And the negative energy transfer from our middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious electromagnetically misaligned reincarnating field of conscious awareness and electromagnetic potential being transferred to the Gentile men, Asian, Arab, Indian, and European males who control our present three-dimensional and conscious awareness psychosocial order will, of course, lays bare, of course, why it is we remain in a damned position of conscious function. Of course, the three-dimensional field of conscious awareness is a field of conscious awareness that is non-contributive to the sustaining of this infinite immortal life support creation matrix genetic evolutionary program that we call our planet Earth, or what we know to be the Matrix. This field of conscious awareness is a field of conscious awareness that is pre-programmed to only exist in the animal kingdom. And of course, this is where the concept of the beast system comes from. Okay, so just to let you know that we are very, very fast. We are fast heading to absolute calamity. We're fast heading to extinction by allowing the disorder of conscious function, the disorder of the skulls, if you will. Think about Harvard, Order of the Skulls. We're fast heading to destruction by our own desire for a five sensory organ, five sensory depth perception stimulation experience that should not exist, that would only exist in the animal kingdom if it were not for our middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious 9-dimensional field of conscious awareness and 7 sensory field of depth perception, choosing to lean mentally, transgenerationally, through miseducating one another to be 3-dimensional in conscious awareness, and of course decide to define the extent of our existence by the finite avatar. Give you an idea of what I'm talking about. You know how it is, you might hear your mom say, "Wow, man, you look just like your dad." Or you might hear your dad say, "Girl, you look just like your mom." Well, the reality is the avatar that your mom or your dad is looking at is a combination of thousands of generations of pre-programmed finite gene sequence mutations. It's not your identity. It's not your dad's identity. These are conversion supports. These bodies are finite, while you, the co-creator of them, are infinite. So, having over many generations been taken away from that reality, we now, of course, we cherish celebrating our birthdays, and we do anything we can to make sure what we call our children have an opportunity to, have the biggest birthday party gathering, so that, they can stay ahead of being seen as lonely and, without friends, and so they can, of course, stay in line with the status quo programming and or reprogramming of their field of consciousness within this three-dimensional conscious awareness psychosocial structure, and of course to our own detriment, because the longer you and I persist in finding our identity in death, and of course the finite avatar, if it's finite, it represents death. The longer you and I aspire to define our identity through the millions, through the features of the finite gene sequence mutations that we exist in, the millions of finite gene sequence mutations that we exist in, the greater the negative energy transfer from Jewish men to Gentile women and Jewish women to Gentile men, of course, to whom control our psychosocial order at this time. And of course, by that, having control, having the negative energy transfer from our field of consciousness to theirs, amplifying their five sensory depth perception, stimulation, desire, of course, leads to mass demand for more of the goods that maintain their survival, and of course our own. And we all know that the Gentiles are the first to get the booty when it comes to being first-class citizens, as they're called. They're the first to get the booty. And the booty, guess who the booty is? The booty is the life of replicating three-dimensional conscious aware fields, whether they exist in animals or the environment, who are literally being destroyed by fields of conscious awareness who have no greater relevance on this planet than or value in the way of conscious contribution that is sustainable than children playing around in a sandbox, arguing over sandcastles. This is what we're dealing with, and you and I now have the opportunity to break away from this dysfunction. And if we do not, well, judgment is right around the corner. Now, there are many individuals who are working against this redemption process, and I want to have a word with all of you individuals. Not, I want to call you a psychopath, but you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing, and you know exactly what you're doing on social media and throughout the world. Whether you're a politician who's presently writing laws to maintain the negative energy transfer from the nine-dimensional conscious awareness field of black people, those people you won't call Jews because you've hijacked their identity. Whether you are a Christian pastor who is championing a false Christ narrative that, of course, is nothing more than an inverted representation of an inverted finite representation of the infinite middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious collective existing behind the flesh of melanated men and women, okay? Or you are a entertainer who, of course, is hell-bent on creating a video where you're saying, I just made $250,000 selling real estate. Meanwhile, when the truth is you just made maybe a $3,000 check to read a script for the individuals who, of course, are paying millions of individuals checks for $500, $10,000, just to create a video that has no basis in reality, whether it's on the end of the value that these advertisements are, purported to give the individual buying, or whether it's on the end where the individual, the consumer who buys these products or takes your advice exists, okay? No matter what aspect of this manipulation that is taking place, none of it is based in reality, because none of the promises come to fruition. And of course, we see the same thing with politicians. They tell you, if you vote for me, I will deliver this. Once they get in office, you see what happens. They don't pay attention to anything you're saying, and they do not deliver on what they told you they would deliver. And many times, it doesn't matter if you vote or not for these candidates. You will hear these candidates, for instance, like Donald Trump. He says often in his speeches, hey, this is what you all voted for. And brothers and sisters, 90% of the time, the majority of you didn't vote for any of the shit that you're dealing with, okay? It's the same thing. But I want to talk to you people. I want to talk to you individuals who are presently working on YouTube specifically, okay? And of course, I know all of you politicians, you're very well aware of who I am, and all of you entertainers, you rappers who are paid to influence your people to believe that their value can come from a gold chain and going out and buying brand new Gucci bags and Nikes and hair and all this stuff to polarize this false identity narrative that they're walking around with every day while they're in total delusion. I'm going to talk to you people. I know that one half of you wants to break away from what you're involved in. So what I'd like to do is ask you to do me a favor, okay? Because see, I know that those who presently control social media, they also play a part in controlling the Fed. They also play a part in controlling all of the acting going on in the higher courts and, of course, the Senate and the Congress. And they also play a part in controlling our food system and our low vibrational non-electromagnetic currency system. And speaking of currency, this is why you're doing what you're doing. But what I want to say to you is this here. That money that you're making, okay, it's giving you temporary pleasure. It's not providing you enough for you to be able to overcome what is soon to happen to you. Now, of course, you're wondering, well, why hasn't my karma come yet? Well, good question. And the answer to that question is this. I'm not done giving you the knowledge that you need to, of course, realign your frequency, whether you have a non electromagnetic pre programmed conscious function or you are the middle co creative Christ Yang conscious field who created the blue sky above and the trees behind me and everything around you, even the body you're in. Okay? I haven't given you all that you need yet to, of course, realign your frequency. And furthermore, well, I've given you enough. I've given you enough. You have no excuse at this time to not desire a higher vibrational, sustainable survival narrative. You have no choice. You have no excuse for continuing to promote the advance of the supplantation of the fail-safe protocol pre-programming that you as a Gentile have, okay, with artificial intelligence and with an electronic currency system. You have no excuse. Okay, so I'm almost done doing what I'm doing. And here on the most heavily censored channel on social media. And when that happens, when that day comes, and it's coming soon, I can assure you of that, what's going to happen to you is going to be so devastating. When I say devastating, I mean devastating. I can assure you of that. For it is my capacity to overstand who I am, where I am, and what processes are maintaining the present moment. And my ability to realize how it is these negative energies are transferred from my field of conscious awareness, that allows for the release of your judgment. So it is when I decide that it is your time, that it will be your time. And I don't care how much you think that what I'm saying won't come true. I can assure you, everything that I've told you so far that would come true, from martial law being instituted in this country, I told you this last year in the Worldwide Paradigm Shift Show, way before it even existed. I told you that the government would soon attempt to pull the rug not only from under European women's feet, but as well the melanated community. The economic standards that you have been used to, the medical, the healthcare, all that. I told you last year that this would happen. And of course, I also told you, hey, you're not going to be able to afford to live soon in a home. And I influenced you to get a tent if you could. Now, you see that they're attempting to criminalize homelessness. You can't even buy a tent because when you go to the national parks to tent, they're telling you you're no longer allowed to tent. Or, rest your head for the evening in a car, no matter what it is. And listen, brothers and sisters, what's taking place to not only you Decepticons, I'm speaking to all of you. What is taking place, brothers and sisters, is so diabolical that if you could know how deep this rabbit hole goes, you would literally probably run out and blow your skull off. This is how devastating this human conscious degrade blood sacrifice agenda is. This is how impossibly real it is. So what I want to say to you individuals who are working against this process, and but especially you, and you individuals who, of course, you want the truth in regards to who you are, where you are, and what your true purpose is in this Matrix program. What I'd like you to do, because of the fact that what's going on behind the scenes within our psychosocial structure, behind the scenes of social media and, of course, the Worldwide Paradigm Shift Show as it's being censored, is the corporate hive mind controllers of this psychological operation we call modern civilization are attempting to silence the people who are speaking against what the system is doing based upon what they're hearing in my videos. Okay? They are literally attempting to create a situation where you do not have an opportunity to come together. Okay? That's one of the biggest reasons why the National Guard is being sent out. Okay? And you have ICE agents, masked individuals who are ICE agents and masked individuals who are claiming to be ICE agents running around. You know, the government, brothers and sisters, long ago gave up on, I'm not talking about the government that you watch on TV. I'm talking about the shadow government. You see, Europeans, Asians, Arabs, Indians, Europeans are the electrochemical automated shadow, the low vibrational reflection of the internal electromagnetically misaligned conscious function of the middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious collective, which exists infinitely and is behind the finite flesh of melanated men and women, the people who have been historically called Jews. Okay? I'm not talking about just in America. I'm talking about since the time immemorial. Okay? These individuals, okay, I kind of lost my thought, but that's okay. I'll get right back to it. And okay, what these individuals want to do is keep us away from having an opportunity to connect, whether we are Gentile or whether we are Jew. So this is what I'd like you to do. And as I said, I want to give you individuals who are doing everything you can to work against this process an opportunity to save yourself from the calamity that I'm going to release upon you soon. And this is how you can do it. You know how you commit yourself to your wife or your husband and you say, I love you, but then you go out later on, as a result of your inability to withhold yourself, from the instant gratification of a 5 sensory organ stimulation experience, and you end up talking to another man or woman and you kind of, you go out and you cheat. Well, this is what I want you to do. And do it for your own safety, if nothing else. If you don't have the desire to break free from the prison that you're in, okay? Do it for your own safety in the future. What I'd like all of you to do is go out, buy yourself a couple pieces of paper, okay? And on that piece of paper, what I'd like you to do is write Christopher Spirit World X, YouTube. 1,000 times, 500 times, 200 times. And then I want you to cut that name out. Use some scissors. Take your time to cut, the little labels out, the names out of that sheet of paper. And then what I'd like you to do is put those pieces of paper in your car, okay? Or walk around with them, or take an elevator to the top of a building in a city. And when the wind blows, I'd like you to take all of those and throw them into the wind. That way, everyone will receive the message to go check out Christopher Spirit World X on YouTube. And also, what I'd like you to do is write shift 198 to 209. Okay? Shift 198 and beyond is all you have to write. Shift 198 and up. How about that? Make it simpler. Now, this will ensure that more people have an opportunity to watch my videos. And the more people that we have in the knowledge of the truth, the greater the capacity for us to overcome not only the censorship of my channel, but the censorship of you individuals who aren't working against this redemption process and who don't have a desire to destroy this redemption process. For those of you who do have a desire to destroy this redemption process, you may be able to offset some of the damages that may be incurred by you getting exposed here on the Worldwide Paradigm Shift Show for your dysfunction, okay, and your manipulation and your deception of the human race. However, what you're missing is this fact here. There is nowhere for you to run. I'm speaking specifically to you individuals like Rashad Jamal, Stephen Darby Ministries. All these individuals have been working since 2021 against this redemption process. The female who, of course, runs the podcast Redirecting, she's a black woman. You individuals who run the podcast Redacted, Charles Lawson, Nori Mohammed, Young Pharaoh, Tony Broder, K Reno, that's Willie D's friend. He's also involved too. You're also involved too, I should say, Willie. Yeah, you're not slick. You can't hide in the shadows behind all the deception. The curtain's way pulled, and I just haven't told all of you yet. Okay, but it's so clear, who you are and what your positions are. It's sickening to know what I know. Very, very sickening. You individuals who work in Congress, Bobby Hemmett, you, Louis Farrakhan, unbelievably, you, Billy Carson, to whom I'm going to spend a moment with all of you here just very shortly. We're going to go onto the iPad and look at what Billy Carson is presently uploading. And by the way, so that all of you know that the individuals who I've just mentioned have been, since the corporate hive mind The three-dimensional and conscious awareness, unnatural field of conscious awareness that's been running and controlling human behavior, manipulating human behavior, controlling our psychosocial system, our psychosocial order, maintaining our economies, and of course, controlling the economic marginalization of melanated communities, and putting, crime scenarios into their communities, like the Bloods and the Crips. The CIA created the Bloods and the Crips, by the way. Look it up. You'll see it's true. And of course, these individuals who've been doing this, let me get back to what I was saying. They've been hiring individuals to watch my videos and, of course, create their own videos. Oh, Papa Duck as well. I don't want to forget you, simple-minded buffoon, okay? You illiterate piece of scum. All of you are illiterate scumbags. And if you don't like it, join me instead of preparing yourself for the destruction that's coming to you. Because, you have no other choice at all. Believe me, no other choice. And to all of you who decide to try me, well, I'm going to say to you, I told you so. I can assure you of that. So join me instead of allowing me to excoriate you and if did I say the right word? I can't remember if that was the right name. Join me instead of allowing me to destroy you online, okay? By calling you a worthless scumbag and a piece of shit. Join me. Because very soon, no matter how much manipulation you people are presently participating in, it'll be over. With just a few words out of this mouth by this mind, guided by the High Council of the Order of the Crystal Keys, our Trinity, the highest division of our Trinity's authentic angelic empire, I am invincible. Now, if I weren't invincible, well, Louis Farrakhan would have sent his henchmen a few years ago. And I don't walk around looking behind my back. I don't walk around, and I'm out day and night whenever I need to be, without thinking about death or retribution. I don't even think about it. And I enjoy having conversations with the individuals that I like to that I communicate with, and I don't even fear any of them having having any thoughts of bringing harm to me. I don't think about those things. Why? Because I know how unbelievable the High Council of the Order of the Crystal Keys really is. And I'm not turning back. I could never turn back. Where there would be no sense in me doing that. Not knowing what I know. No sense at all. Now, you have an opportunity to join me without telling your handlers. You do. You can't trust them anyway. All right? I'm not going to spend too much time trying to convince you of that, but what I would like to do is extend to you an opportunity to help yourself. Because when I do give the word, okay? And believe me, it's not going to be pretty. When I do give the word, the only thing that's going to stop your destruction is the capacity for the High Council to see that within your field of consciousness, there is enough high vibrational energy, field frequency, potential to offset it. Okay? It's the only thing that's going to stop it. And the best way for you to build that field frequency is to follow my instructions. All right, let's get on to what I would love to talk about. I would love to talk about Billy Carson and Bobby Hemmitt. But the first one I would like to talk about is this gentleman, Billy Carson, right here. He just put this video out. Here, let's see. It doesn't have a...
Today,
we're going to go ahead.
Hack it. They log in.
We're going to go ahead and wait till this commercial's gone.
And session protection.
And then we're going to look at this video and talk about a few things that he is...
A connection with your creator. You can have a direct connection with the universe. You can have the power of the creator inside of your...
Okay, what I'd like to do is
connection with your creator.
What I'd like to do is I would like to, this is for educational purposes only, by the way. This is a video that is being created by so-called forbidden knowledge. And in this video, Billy Carson is attempting to tell you that religion... Give me one moment, please. Okay, Billy Carson, I have a few things I've written down to make this very, very simple, plain and clear. All right, forbidden knowledge is not forbidden. It is a well thought out aspect of the great deception to block the truth. Since 2021 on channel Christopher Spirit World X. The truth of what? The truth of who, where, and what you are. And what's the purpose of your thought process. In this video, Billy talks a lot about spirituality and religion, and light and darkness. He tells you religion was created for a power struggle. What power struggle could he be talking about, you might be thinking. But what power struggle is he talking about? Between the rich and the poor, white and black, the whites, the blacks, the Arabs, the blacks, the Asians, Indians, and Europeans? No, brothers and sisters, he's talking about the rejection, the battle, the power struggle, okay, that exists by the rejection of the middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious collective, existing by electromagnetic, existing infinite by electromagnetism, acknowledging their frequency field of conscious awareness in male and female avatars as high and low vibrational reflections of one another's singular consciousness by an aspect of their infinite collective consciousness in millions of low vibrational avatars. The avatar you're in, the melanated body you're in, is a low vibrational fail-safe protocol tool for rebalancing, much like the Gentile conscious spectrum physiology. Okay? All right. This aspect of our frequency desires the reflection of the rejection of the middle co-creative Christ Yang conscious collective existing by electromagnetism, acknowledging their frequency field of conscious awareness in male and female avatars as high and low vibrational reflections of one another as electromagnetic beings, okay? by the aspect of their infinite conscious collective existing within millions of body, who desires reincarnating by a transgenerational non-electromagnetic corruption of that knowledge of their identity as co-creator of all replicating conscious contributions, sustaining their infinite capacity to exist by electromagnetic potential of their collective perception and experience our creation program. This power struggle existing within the Jewish black race as they are host to the now in non-electromagnetic frequency in-house to the now in-house hijacked in purpose fail-safe protocol activated out of the Jewish mind and body Gentile yin conscious spectrum. So when he talks about how it is the religions that you serve were created for a power struggle, he is deflecting from the truth that I just read to you. All right? And he's doing it on purpose to, of course, obstruct you brothers and sisters from having an opportunity to realign your electromagnetic manifest potential and synchronize it with your thought process and, of course, with the highest field of conscious awareness and function of our Trinity's highest division within our three-divisional Trinity's electromagnetic radio frequency spectrum. This man is nothing more than what they would call the devil incarnate. So there's the video I would like you to look at. And, you know, by the way, this is for educational purposes only. So I would like to take a few moments to play a little bit of this video. And then I'd like to show you another video that Billy Carson is presently... As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to play these videos because I don't want YouTube to say that I am violating, copyright laws. And what I want you to know, YouTube, is if I do have to deal with you telling me that I violated a copyright law once again, I am going to pursue legal action against you. I promise you that. Not only at that time are you going to realize that I am not playing with any of you people, but as a result of me taking legal action against you, you will also, every one of you individuals who've been managing the censoring of this channel will begin to experience the destruction that I promise you is going to come. Okay? And you can have as much money as you want. You won't stop what I'm going to send. Mark my words. And I don't fuck around. You remember that. So, what I'm going to do, brothers and sisters, is I'm going to give you a little couple videos to look at. That video there, you see it? That video there with Billy Carson is called Religion Lied About True Spirituality. Billy Carson and Forbidden Knowledge. I'd like you to take a look at that. And listen to the first 5 minutes of it. And you'll understand how it is that Billy Carson is nothing but a true Decepticon. The next video I would like you to look at is Trump sends National Guard to O-Block to lock up the young niggas, the YNs. I told you what was going on about a year ago. here on the Worldwide Paradigm Shift Show with martial law. Well, now you see it's taking place. The next video I would like you to look at is this video here. Okay, and that video is a video by Bobby Hemmitt. You see him there? Bobby Hemmitt. That video is called The Truth About Awakening. This is why you feel so alone, Bobby Hemmitt. Now, of course, Bobby Hemmitt is working against your redemption process. Okay, as he has been for the last few years, along with all of these other psychopaths that I have mentioned to you. Now, another video I would like you to look at is another Billy Carson video. And of course, there's that video there. Okay. I don't know if you can see the title on that video, but the title on that video is "This Isn't the Jesus. This Isn't the Jesus They Want You to Know About." Billy Carson and Sharif Anil, who of course is a so-called Moor. Now, in that video that I'd like you to look at, I'd like you to go to the 9-minute mark. And from the 9-minute mark on to the 15-minute mark, what I want you to do is take notice of how it is. First, how Billy Carson is sitting in that chair as if he is totally uncomfortable. Now, the reason why he's totally uncomfortable is because he understands, one, the karma that's coming to him, and two, that he is reciting information that I had just uploaded in one of the last Worldwide Paradigm Shift clip uploads that I uploaded onto YouTube. Of course, you can go to Shift 1 94 95, somewhere around there, and you will have an opportunity to hear everything this man is spewing out of his mouth. In that video at 9 minutes, you'll hear this individual claiming to be a Moor talk about a paradigm shift. He will, mention how it is, hey, Billy, this is a paradigm shift, what we're talking about, Billy. Knowing that we are spirits. And, Billy tells him what they're doing, brothers and sisters, is no less than what Bobby Hemmitt did a few months ago. In a video he uploaded, he goes, hey, this is what I want you people to hear coming out of my mouth. And he started rattling off a checklist of different things that I say to you in my videos in regards to your identity, your redemption process, and of course he doesn't give you the truth. Neither did Bobby Hemmitt in that video that I uploaded, where I showed Bobby Hemmitt, marking off a checklist and listening to somebody in the audience remind him of something else that he needed to talk about. Or the video that Billy Carson have just put up a couple days ago, where he talks about how we are beings who can't die, and our soul leaves our body, and and this man, he's literally he's a psychopath, because what he's not telling you is that you are the infinite co-creative reincarnating frequent field of conscious awareness with a high vibrational, meaning high frequency electromagnetic manifest potential, who is presently dealing with your karma. He's not telling you that. He's not telling you how it is you are not what you see in the mirror, but you are a collective field of consciousness behind millions of bodies at the same time. He does tell you your soul leaves your body, and if you want to have a great connection to the Most High, all you have to do is meditate. And you've been hearing that for what, the past couple hundred years, haven't you? From whether they're a Indian Gentile, an Arab Gentile, whether you've been going to yoga and you've been dealing with the gurus there, they're all telling you information that won't connect you to the Most High, but keep you in the same field of conscious dysfunction that you've been in for the past few thousand years. Brothers, through few thousand sun and moon cycles, let me correct myself. Brothers and sisters, I want to thank you again for another opportunity to reach out to you. I know that I told you the other day that within 12 to 24 hours, I probably have another video up. But you understand the battle that we're in. And I'm not in a battle by myself. Trust me, because after these individuals, if they could destroy me, you people are next. You're going to see more diseases unleashed on your populations. But I'm not going anywhere. And if these diseases are released because they don't have the capacity to destroy me, well, brothers and sisters, it's going to be time for you to get some balls and let's start going after these individuals who are showing their face, whether in politics, whether in social media. It doesn't matter where they are, whether they are individuals who've been sent on a mission into our communities to dispense drugs, to keep us overstimulated, so that we never have an opportunity to break away from the low vibrational negative energy transfer that is leaving us in shambles as a collective. Or it's individuals who are being paid $300, $400, $500 to do a commercial where they're advertising our yin conscious contribution aspect that is presently being psychologically abused and then slaughtered, so that these idiots who say, Arby's, we have the beats, can make a few $100s, while you and your family and your matrix, your true body, your family, the animal kingdom, and your true body is being destroyed for their lack of desire for making a true connection to our authentic Trinity's highest electromagnetic radio frequency spectrum and field of conscious awareness and potential, who is here with us now in this Matrix program to assist in that alignment. It's time to stand up against these savages. You don't have a bunker to go hide in when all hell breaks loose, but they do. They have many options that they've already set in place. Whether they are, it doesn't matter what part of the psychosocial, geopolitical, religious, scientific, economic system that we're talking about. These individuals are all being used throughout the media to maintain your disconnection from the truth. And the truth, brothers and sisters, is a lot closer than you think it is. It's right here on channel Christopher Spirit World X. Again, I want to thank you for joining me, and I asked that all of you take my advice. For you're running out of time. Carry on.